Welcome, this is Loudon Gaming, and we have Ludum Dare 52 just started. I just got home from work, ate a little dinner, so I'm a little bit behind from the start time. So, yeah, the theme is harvest. Well, I don't like the theme. Um, I just don't like it. Uh, just kind of creating some folders here. Now, in the last Ludum Dare, which probably the last game I made would fit it. My daughter joked, saying just do the same game as you did last time because it kind of fits. Um, but we're not going to. See what else do I do? Sound, I guess. All right. So now during the last Ludum Dare, right before they announced the theme, I was thinking of an idea for a game that I don't think will ever fit a theme for any Ludum Dare, but I think it would be great to make for Ludum Dare. And so I've been thinking about this game. And I was thinking, with Ludum Dare coming up so close, I thought this last time I was like, you know what? Last Ludum Dare, I did with my daughters. Let's use the theme, and I won't use this other idea, but maybe I'll use this idea for the next one. And so here we are, the next one, and I don't like the theme of harvest, so I'm just going to do this instead, and you know, maybe you can say you're harvesting something, whatever. But probably wondering what kind of game I'm making. So basically, I'm making a kind of board game like game. We're gonna have cards, we're gonna have dice, and the idea of the game is that you are uh, how I want to say you are making games for a Ludum Dare event. So you're making games for a game jam, and it's going to be where you're going to have cards, and the cards are going to have different types, and um, it's going to be like you creating like a hodgepodge of different kinds of um, cliche games. So, for example, one type will be like the main player, and so those cards might be like, a Mario like character or a Zelda like character. I'm going to go with the kind of like a 8-bit or a retro kind of feel, maybe a little bit. Um, Not to say that it would be a Mario, but it would be a parody of Mario, a parody of Zelda, Metroid, things like that. That would be like one type of card. So you need a main player to make a game. You need a uh, genre for the game. So maybe the genre is a platformer or an RPG or um, something else. Uh, first person shooter. So then you would also need a setting. So there would be other type of cards that are settings, and in the settings you would do, um, like a forest or a happy land or something like that. And then the last one would be enemies. And so an enemy could be your typical enemy, like a giant lizard or whatever parodies off of like older games or even newer games. And so you're playing these cards, and so your game is going to be like Zelda in a first person shooter, set in a happy land where you're having to fight um, giant robots. Okay, so that's kind of like maybe the humor of it or the fun of it. So you're playing these cards to make a game, but in order to fulfill these games or to do these games, you need to program each of those cards first by basically collecting different color sets. Like each card will have like a different color set. You play those. You play you have to program them, not literally programming, but that's the name I'm using, where you have to play these other cards to kind of fulfill that. And then cards will also come with bugs, so you also need to perhaps debug some of those cards, and then based on the cards, after you complete the game, you can uh, you can just say it's finished, even though it has bugs on it. You're gonna get a score for that completed game. And I kind of wanted to do it where it's more than you just completing one game. I know, like in a game jam, you're only doing one, but for this game, I think it'd be more fun if you could complete several different games. So you can be like, oh, I made this game and it was about Mario, um, in a I'm trying to think of a Mario game that doesn't have a genre. I was going to say racing, but that's, he's done that. I think Mario's done every genre. I was going to say RPG, but he's done that too. So, Mario in a different genre is like, yeah, of course. But it was a lot of talking there. Now, the other mechanic to the game is you're going to have dice, and you're going to be rolling these dice, and there's going to be like maybe you have 6 dice, and that's going to be determine what kind of actions you can take. So an action would be like to draw cards, to program, to debug. Now you can re-roll these cards or the dice, but when you every time you re-roll, you can pick some of the, like kind of like Yahtzee, where you pick some of the dice that you want to keep and you re-roll some that you don't want. But every time you re-roll, you have to use a time unit. So you're given so much time unit at the start of the game, and every time you roll the dice, you have to spend some time. You also have to spend time to actually program. So maybe programming, an RPG card. Not only do you have to have the right color cards to program it, it also costs a certain amount of time. So there's going to be other things in this. When you complete a card set, or yeah, when you complete a card that you've finished programming, it'll probably give you like a special ability that you can use during the game, or like a one-time shot kind of ability. Just kind of make it more interesting of like, why would you want this card over another card? Um, and then what would motivate you to maybe complete that part first versus another part. Also, when you're rolling your dice, one of the faces will be a bug face. So every time you roll it, regardless of whether you pick it or not, it automatically adds a bug to like a general bug supply. And so when you're debugging, you either want to debug your cards or you want to debug your general supply. And there's probably going to be like a limit to how many bugs you can have in your general supply, how many bugs you have on your cards. If you have too many, you lose the game. Then what I was thinking, to kind of even make it more interesting, more fun, and I've been kind of thinking about this game for a while. Wasn't sure if I would ever do it, but I'm going to do it now. Um, with the bugs, I was thinking maybe to do um, no, yeah. Every time you debug a bug, it gives you like an experience point, and then you can use experience points to upgrade your dice. So it seems like a lot of like complicated parts to the game, but I just thought maybe that would be something else that could be interesting of you know something with the game. So I mean, maybe I don't add that part, but we'll see. That's just an idea. I really want to try to get through the night with trying to get a really good uh, most of the game mechanics down, so that tomorrow I spend quite a bit of time playtesting. One of the biggest problems I had last game was I didn't put in time for playtesting at all. And so I think this game I have to playtest it, because with it being this kind of board game like game, it can be really. it could be really easy where it's like, oh, this just doesn't work. And so I need to get to a point where it's like I can play test this, and yeah, this will work. This will be fine. Um, you know, or after play testing, I can be like, okay, this isn't quite working right, but maybe I can try some other things after that point. See how they work. All right, so let's get to it. Let's start with our scripts now. We're going to start a script. We're going to do the cards first. So we're going to have a card. We'll just call it card. And we're going to do a card manager. I just finished uploading my very last video for the last Ludum Dare. And I'm going to just say that there's going to be points in this adventure here where I don't... where I don't talk, just like I did there. I was thinking. 2 Ludum Dare events ago, I made a real-time deck building game. So I've done cards before, but I didn't really look at that game or the code to the game, so I kind of don't really remember how I all did it. But anyways, let's see, what are cards going to need? So, whoops. Here, let me move this. This is my my drawing pad. Just put there. All right. So let's see. We're going to need a, let's say, public enum card type. Wow, thank you. And so the card types will be, let's see, hero, genre. The next one would be setting, enemy, and we might have like special cards, maybe. We'll see. I was thinking maybe there could be a card called coffee. You can play it and you get some more time. All right, so we'll do that. And actually, let's call this a card. Now, probably at the beginning, you'll see me card name. Yeah, that's good. Doesn't need a list of cards. So let's see, what else do we need? We're going to say public int card value. Do I really need to say card for everything? Value. Public int. Actually, let me think of this. So cards are going to have these symbols that you're going to need in order to program them. I can't think of a name for each of the symbols. Right now I'm just using red, green, red, or blue, but it could be well, here, we'll probably need another public enum. It could be coding, art, and maybe something else. I didn't really want to use art, but maybe I'll stick with art. I was also thinking the game could have like other kind of things that you would make for a game jam, but maybe not. We'll do another public enum, and we're going to call them symbols. And so the symbols, let's see, we have a code symbol, an art symbol, and I need one more. Code, art, and I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just adding flavor to it. It could be red, blue, and green. It doesn't really matter. It just adds a little flavor to it. Code, Like how long would it take to code, art? Well, we'll just say playtest. All right, that sounds good. Not a big deal. All right, so a card is going to have a list. We'll say public list of symbols, and we'll call them the symbols. Now, these are the symbols of the cards. So, cards can be used in multiple ways. They can be used for you to create the game. They could also be used just for their symbols. Because one of the things with this game, if I have all these different cards, like let's say there's 52 cards, but you only need 4 of those cards to make your game. Let's say you make 3 games. That's 4 out of because this isn't multiplayer. This is single player. This is just a solo game. You do 3. That's 12. 12 out of the 42 cards. Once when you have all your cards you need, you're not going to want to draw, because an action is to draw cards. You're not going to care about drawing cards anymore. So what I thought of is that they have multiple purposes. So you can either use the card for creating your game, or you could use it for their symbols that they have on them in order to program other cards. One of the problems that this is going to have for a Ludum Dare game is if you've never played these type of games before, it's going to be hard to explain it, and I can see people playing this game and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But it is what it is. I'm going to make this game because I kind of like the idea. I like the idea of me making, I'm a big into board games, so I like the idea of making kind of board game-ish game for this jam. Plus, I like the idea of it as well. All right, so we're going to need another public list. We're going to call them, they're still going to be symbols. And we're going to say program symbols. These are what you'll need to have in order to complete that card. So, Mario might need 2 coding symbols. Okay, so you use 2 other cards that have the coding symbol on it in order to complete that part of the thing. All right, so that's that for now. Let's see what else would I need. We also need another public list of integers, and we're going to call this program time, and this will correlate with the symbols. So how long it takes, how many time units you need to use in order to program it, and then public list of integers, and this is bug amount. So if the value of it is 7, but there's 4 bugs on it, your final value will be 3. Removing bugs, again, besides just the points, removing bugs, I think I'm going to have it where it gives you experience points. Completing completing this will give you a special ability. So how do I do that? Public list public list of actions. Maybe I need to do system using system. Public list of actions, and these are going to be abilities. Actually, we might make this a class. Let's make that a class. We're going to call it the ability class. Again, these don't need to be model behavior because I would rather not. So we're going to call it ability. Alright, so instead of that, let's go back to, it's not going to be model behavior. And we'll work on this part later, but basically, public, probably going to have an enum called ability type. Thank you. And we'll just one shot, passive, just leave that for now. And then we're going to have a public ability, a public, we want to use using system. And this is going to be a public action. Doesn't need anything yet. We will see what it might need. Or it has to have something. We can just do that. We'll just leave that for now until I get to that point. We might need to do it, but we'll just leave that for now. Alright, so I think that's enough. We will have other things like public int, public sprite. What sprite I would use? Call card sprite. Yeah, not a problem. Well, we'll actually let's do it as a string, and then we'll have like a dictionary of sprites that it can reference in the card manager. All right, how much time we got left? Okay, next. Let's open up the card manager. All right, this is fine model behavior. Let's do a public static. Actually, this whole thing could be static, but let's just do static card manager instance. Thank you. Awake. And we'll just say instance is equal to this. Who cares if we have another one or not? It doesn't matter. Let's see, void start. So what does this manager need to do? It needs, first we're going to have a public list of, cards. We're going to say the draw deck, the deck, public list, the discard, the card, and a public list of cards again. And this is going to be the, the draw row, whatever. So the cards that you can, or the choice row. What would you call that in the, let's just call it the idea row. Let's call it that. The idea row. Gotta be thematic here, even though we're not doing a harvest theme. But I did think of this, all right, one of the cards is going to be a farmer. One of the cards is going to be, is going to be a farm. That's the setting. Another, the genre will be farming. And then the enemy would be winter. I don't know. Alright, so let's see. We are going to need a maybe public void draw card. We also need a void set up. So I'm going to hard code all the cards in this file right here. Right in here is going to make all the cards. This is going to draw the cards. Public void discard card. And I think this draw cards, maybe we have a int amount. So how many do you want? All right, public void discard card. And then which is also going to be, we're probably going to need a card. And then I think that's it. We could have a public void shuffle cards, and we're going to say it's going to get a list of cards, and we're going to just call it deck. Shuffle deck, just so that we have. All right. So let's start with shuffling the cards. So you have the deck. We could just completely take it and randomize the order, just swapping cards. So we're going to just say for i's to a certain amount. Here, let's just int num times. And let's just say it does this 50 times. All right, so then what we'll do is we have a dummy card. Dummy is equal to a new card. All right, hold on. Let me just think of how to shuffle this. Randomly pick a card and randomly pick another card. You could also just randomly remove the card and then just randomly put it back in, insert it randomly somewhere. That sounds good. So we're going to say card dummy is equal to, instead of a new card, we're going to say shuffle deck dot kind of that. We're going to say random dot range from 0, comma 2 dot count. All right, so now we got the dummy card. Then we're going to say shuffle deck dot remove. Now remove the dummy card. Then we're going to say int random spot is equal to this. Not this though. And then we're going to say shuffle deck dot insert at random spot dummy. Man, that's an easy way to shuffle it. Just do it 50 times. Okay. Or discarding the card. Well, we're going to say card dot Actually, we're going to say draw cards. Sorry, not draw cards. Discard. Here, let's change this to deck. Discard pile. We might want to send it a list of cards. Card list. So we could do this from anything, right? Because this is static anyway. So if it was in our hand and we wanted to discard it, we could. If it was in the info one, we could. And we were doing the same thing. We're going to remove it. We can also say if card list is not equal to null. Then we're going to say card list. Well, really, do we even have to say that? Well, just in case, we'll just say card list dot remove. Remove the card. And then we're going to add it. Alright, so I think that is it for now. So now the draw cards, we're just going simply for I is to the amount. So when we draw cards, we're going to do the same thing. A list of cards called card list. So what we're going to do is say we actually need two of them. This is called the draw deck or draw pile or draw. The draw and the place. I don't want to say draw pile again because I already have that up. Oh no, I don't have a draw pile. So we'll say the draw pile and the place pile. And basically, I could use this for drawing cards to the idea row, or I could use this for drawing cards directly to your hand. And basically, you take a list and you take the amount. We could do another one where it does the same kind of thing. Well, here, let's finish this one first. So this is going to be the draw pile. Here, we're going to say place pile dot add draw pile 0. So it's taking the first one off the top deck. Okay, and then we're going to say draw pile dot remove at 0. Okay. So if we wanted to draw 5 cards off the deck, we would just say 5. We want to do it from the deck, and we want to place it in the idea row. If we wanted to draw cards to our hand, we could say, deck, how many we want and place it in our hand. So we can do either one. So that's handy so far. All right. So let's set up some cards. All right. We could have another one called a public list of all cards. Just in case our start of our game, we don't want them directly in the deck for some reason. I'm freaking on all these. I need to do a new list of cards. Let's see if I have. Um, we need all these to be new. Well, these ones, yeah, we do. We'll just do it. That doesn't need to be a list. Hold on, we didn't do the public list of abilities. Again, I'm going to make all of these in here rather than doing outside the game, or like in Unity, or doing like a scriptable. And some of that I think it'll be quicker to just type it all in here. All right, so let's add some cards. So we're going to say card is equal to a new card. Now what you could do is have a construct for this. I'm not going to do that. So I think it's just easier to do it this way. So now, so this is going to get very long because we're going to do about 40 cards, and each card is going to have to be set up the same way, but it's fine. So we're going to say card dot card name is equal to, now we can't say Mario, so we're going to say Faro. Okay. So, or we could just say Suspender Man. Remember, Jumpman was the original name of him. I think so, in Donkey Kong. So maybe Jumpman is taken as well. Anyways, it just needs to be a human. We'll just call him Guy. All right, he's just a guy. Card dot description. We will leave blank for now, and we might not even have a description. Card dot, let's see, value. Let's just give it number 5. So this is how much you would get for card dot card sprite, which is a name. We're going to say guy, which really, maybe we just use the name. Just use the name. Well, we can just do a shorthand, I guess. Card dot symbols dot add. Okay, we're going to add a art, comma. Oh, so you can see these do get pretty long. These will get pretty long. Two arts as hold on. I want to not add it as a symbol. I want it to be the programming symbol. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're going to be using this for testing right now. Programming symbols, that's what I call it. Program symbols. Sorry, I'm kind of old. I don't call it coding. I call it programming. I mean, some ways you can say, well, this is why it would be quicker having it as a scriptable. The only problem with making it a scriptable is that I won't be able to do this. I would have to do some other kind of coding where it loops through all of the things. Like, so I could do in my card manager instead of setting up the cards here, which I'm just going to do, whatever. So this is the guy card. Actually, let's do it like this. This is going to be all the hero cards. So I need that as well. Card dot card type is equal to hero. Because what I'll do is I'll just like copy and paste, and then just change it in there. Card dot symbols. So here's my idea for symbols, is that some cards will have maybe one symbol, other cards would have like multiple symbols. And I did forget one thing. Going back to here, we're going to have a wild symbol. And that means you can use anything to complete it, or you can use, or a card is going to be able to. So this is the symbols. So we're going to say you are also art as your symbol. So it's more artistic, right? Okay, so then we just need to add abilities. In our card manager, I think we're going to take care of the actions for that. So maybe just for testing purposes, not going to do anything public, void. So there's going to be an ability that will, well, after you finish it, will allow you to draw the card. Just debug log draw card. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And so let's do card dot abilities dot add ability. So I need to create a new ability. All right, maybe I can do a constructor for this. We're going to say class, and this should almost be a list of actions, don't you think? And the reason why I say that is maybe the ability does more than one thing. I would hate to go down. Let's just make them single for now. Let's just make them single. I think it'll be easier if I just make them single actions. But well, instead of having each ability will be single, but a card could have multiple actions. So we need a public ability, and this will be needing a ability type and a action. So we'll say ability type this dot ability type. I never made one. There we go. And then this dot action is equal to action. So now in my card manager, I can say ability new ability. And we're going to say ability type dot one shot, comma, new system action. How do I do this? There we go. That's pretty cool. So now we've added that ability. Um, this could also, if we wanted to, int amount. So then up in here, we were going to have to say, you get to draw 2 cards. Okay, so you can do something like that. All right, so we got our first card, the hero card, the guy. And so now after we do that, we want to say deck, or we can say all cards dot add card. Now for testing purposes, we could say for I is to 50. So we're going to add this card 50 times. So on start, we want to set up cards. And then we want to say deck is equal to a new list cards. And we're going to put in the all cards. So now we're making a copy of that. So set up the cards, do that. And then just for testing, well, let's just go to, if I go to my cards, and if I do system.serializable, system serializable, I should be able to see this in here. All right, so that was a lot of programming. I got some notes, just kind of keep myself on track. I think I might have a problem with my back. Oh boy, you can hear my chair squeaking. I might need like a pillow behind this chair or something. All right, let's do create an empty. Call it card manager. Let's run it and see what happens. All right, no errors. We got 50 cards. We got 50 cards in our decks. And if we look at our element, we have our hero in all of its glory. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to start displaying these things. Let's create an empty game object. We're going to call it card prefab. Let's add a sprite. Sprite renderer. No. Let's do that underneath it. Create a sprite underneath it. This is going to have a card info, which I can't do. Okay. So what we do is just say, new script. We're going to call it the card controller. And basically what this will do is have a public card. Thank you, man. They're smart. Just leave it like that for now. So now we can have a card associated when we make these prefabs. And actually in the card controller, it's going to set up the card as well. I hate doing all this right now, but all right. We want this to be very dynamic, so I don't have to make all these cards, and I can just program it to make them. So what we're going to do is I need okay. So go ahead and import those. All right, this is so exciting. Okay, what is it doing? When that's not. It's kind of weird. Okay, close it. Why is it opening again? Okay, let's close that. Okay, let's change the background color for the square to black. The text. Why can't I see it? Hmm. Darn it. Extra settings. Okay. So we're going to have some layers here. Let's okay, I can't create. That's weird. Let me go here and create a layer. We're going to have card back and card front. I know that's kind of confusing. Let's say card background. Card front. So this will be where was that? Card front. Okay, I'm still not seeing it. Why not? Oh. What the heck? Hello, put it here, please. Usually, usually I make these like a UI thing. Do I want to do that though? Not really. Okay, so where's this? Man, the font. Sure, we'll just leave that for now. Actually, what if we say it's 10 by 10? It changed the font size. And then with our camera, we can zoom our camera out. 10, 20. Actually, the card should probably be, I might need to measure a card. 8, 7, 8. Let's do 8. Okay. So that's this. This will be the name text. All right. Then let's insert. Here we're going to say card background. There's a lot of things we need to do here. What I'm thinking of doing is insert empty. And this is going to be a symbol. So what I was thinking of doing is I could dynamically draw each symbol here. Maybe we can say symbol. Let's see. Can I add a grid? A grid layout group. Will this work or no? I don't know. This up here. That there. Okay. Actually, remove this component. And we're going to say symbol group. So this is what this kind of stuff is what takes long for making the game. We're going to add a sprite square underneath it, just so I can see it. Okay. Oh, okay. This is going to be weird. Can't move it. Here's my grid. Cell size is 10 by 10. Don't know if that matters. Actually, let's not do it. Let's remove this. Add a horizontal layout group. Okay. I can't move this to here. I have no padding. I don't know how to do that. I don't know why it's putting it there. I can't change that. I guess it puts it in the middle of the symbol group. I don't know. Now this should be underneath the card prefab. Ooh, that is not good at all. Darn it. Let's see. Horizontal spacing, upper left. Span now. Darn it. Upper left. Why is it not putting in the upper left? Anchor pivot, no. I can't change this offset here. And there's nothing here either. Darn it. If this was a not a picture, let's just delete this. All right, let's just do a. We'll just code it ourselves. No. Create empty symbol group. We'll just code it ourselves then. And then we want to, technically we don't want to do anything. We just want to put it here. And then we're going to code in the symbols. Okay. So let's do that first. In our card controller, we are going to have a public start. All right, so we're going to set up the card display. So let's get our using TMP Pro. And we're going to say public. Yep, and let's just call it card name. And then we want to get a public game object called symbol group. All right, and then we're going to have a public int. This doesn't need be public, but we are doing a game jam, so everything's pretty much public. Private int padding symbol padding. All right, so let's first do the name TMP Pro or card name dot text is equal to card dot card name, and then we'll do, now we're going to set up symbols for I is to the card dot symbols dot count. All right, so now we're going to say, darn it. You know what, let's do this in the card manager. Public list of sprites. All right. So what we want to do is new game object called card temp. Actually, what am I doing? Yeah, we're going to say symbol sprite. Alright, game object is equal to new game object. We're going to say symbol sprite dot add component and sprite renderer. Okay. Now, yeah. We have the sprite renderer, and we're going to say symbol sprite dot get component. Let's get the sprite renderer, and we're going to say dot sprite is equal to the card manager dot instance. Let's just make that capital. This is the one time I'll use a capital. Dot car or symbol sprites. Symbol sprites, what did I name it? Symbols. Symbols, and we're going to get the symbol that has the card dot card type. No. Card dot symbols. Yeah, symbols. Hold on. No. We want to do an int card dot symbols I. Okay. So now we want to say symbol sprite dot transform dot parent is equal to transform dot parent symbol dot transform dot local position is equal to new vector 3 I times symbol times symbol padding comma 0. Okay, so it should well, padding's not a very good word for it, but whatever. Alright, so gotta test this out, man. I thought I would be kind of done with just the cards. That's looking at my list, that's probably going to be the thing that takes the longest is just getting all that set up because we have to, how do we display it and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so let's do this. This is going to be a prefab. Here, I'm going to stop, put a break in the video, and I will be right back.